Hey guys, that's Sleepy Girl here, and welcome to episode 2 of our franchise series. So, we're going to be opening up our park here, and in our first video, we went ahead and quote unquote blew up the park. So, we removed everything. The only thing that's left is 3 tortoises just because they weren't old enough, and I didn't have any room left in the trade center, and I couldn't sell them off or anything or release them to the wild because they weren't old enough yet. So we're just gonna leave them be until they're old enough that I can get rid of them, and then that'll be gone. So the first thing I did before getting in here, why is this not working? There we go. The first thing I did was go ahead and take a look at like zoo layouts and stuff over the internet, and I found something that I actually really liked, which is definitely not something I would have come up with on my own. And basically it was creating a grid with the path. So all the paths is in straight lines, making these huge squares, and all the habitats are within those squares. However, they're all they don't have any square edges on them. So all the habitats are circular or kidney shaped. There was like peanut shaped ones, and I just found it like actually looked really nice. You end up with a very full park, you know what I mean? It's going to fill out every inch of it because it's going to be a massive square, and within that you have all the smaller squares, and within those squares you'd have each habitat, and each habitat is has round edges, whether it be a perfect circle, an oval, a kidney shape, a peanut shape, whatnot. I just really like the combination of the square edges as well as all this circular inside. I found that it was a really full look, and it actually looked really nice. And it wasn't even a real zoo, it was from a different zoo game. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. So as you can see here, we have a few facilities left, and the small tortoises left that was in our breeding area that was used for challenges. So we're gonna go to the front here to start off. This missing path is really bothering me, so we're just gonna go ahead and fix that. That'll work, I think. Sure. Yeah, that'll work. So we'll leave that like that. And then I think the first thing we should do is go ahead and set up the grid, at least the beginning of it anyways, so that we can get started with habitats and stuff. I really want to do some work with animals. Aside from challenges, I haven't really been making habitats lately, just with all the videos we've been putting out. We've been focused on buildings and stuff. And then we did the contest entry, which was Arctic wolves, but that was kind of more focused again on the building aspect of things and not the habitat itself. So we're gonna get started here, and I want to leave a little bit of room here at the entrance area. I don't want to focus on building the entrance building right yet. It is franchise, so I want to have a little bit more money saved up before we do that. But we are gonna leave some space here at the entrance, basically this one the size of one square in the grid, so that we've got room for that. So, without further ado, I'm thinking, let's see here, I think it'd be pretty good. Yeah, that comes out pretty much straight. Let's lock this on. There we go. Okay, so the first grid, let me see here. Yeah, so we'll go here. You'd have a building that would hover over it with an archway that they could walk under. And then from here on out, we're going to have all our squares. Now, I think that would be enough room for a main building, especially compared to this one. So we're going to go ahead and turn. So let's switch to align to grid. Let's get a path here. And I think that'll be good. Now we might be switching some of the paths to staff paths and such, so that we can make staff areas. But I think overall this is going to be a really good design. Just trying to think of how big. Right, so if this is going to be part of the entrance, this would be like a half grid. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6. And I think a spacing of 6 would be plenty for habitats themselves. So 1, 2, 3. We'll add a path here. Delete this one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and that kind of works out perfect. So we're gonna leave. Are we gonna leave this? Can they actually access that? Probably not. Yeah, so we'll leave that. Now the question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's only 5. Okay, right. So let's get rid of these here. I think that's fairly decent in size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I tend to make, in general, very large habitats. So let's just take a look actually of how big a habitat would be if we put it in there. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and then get the whole grid done and then things not fit in. Right, so we're supposed to be in barriers. Now my concept was circular, so let's just see. I mean, realistically we're going to make much smaller ones and we're going to use the rounded features, but just to get an idea. Yeah, this is not looking so big anymore. I think we might need to go bigger. Right, I'm going to have to add the door so that we can get the size. 1452. Now if we go in here, yeah, see, they need almost like double. Okay, so we're gonna go and Control Z all of this. Let's see, I think that's as far back as I can go. So let's go to path, delete path, get rid of all this. Come on. Okay. So we're gonna align to grid, get rid of delete path, like this. Let's go 1, 2, 3. And I think we're gonna do some 8 by 8. I feel like that'll be pretty good. And then I think further down, if we had to, like let's say we wanted a larger habitat, we could put 2. You know what? That's probably the best idea. To stick with the size that we had, and then if we needed a larger one for elephants or something like that, we could go ahead and mix 2 of the habitats together. So let's check on our small animals. Things like an aardvark. How much room do they need? What is there? Yeah, like 330. Yeah, so that 1500 would be plenty. African wild dogs, they need quite a bit compared to others. 230. 430. Okay, yeah. So let's scratch this again. Aligned grid. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will allow a path in the back. Yeah, so that's probably good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, that's where we were. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm not sure how we're going to be doing animal-wise, what I actually want to put in here. The way that this is going to be gridded out, I feel like we're going to end up with less animals being able to get in it. And so I'm not sure exactly what I want to put in it yet. Now, due to the challenges, we do have some of those animals, and we do have most of the animals that we had in this park previously still available to us. And so we're going to have quite a bit to be able to choose from. And then we can also buy more. That's not an issue at all. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I am excited to get back into franchise, although I love the freedom and the ability to build whatever the heck I want in Sandbox without having to worry about pricing and stuff. I have missed franchise. I feel like you're more accountable in franchise. If you're tired of building something, you've always got something on the go. You can check out, your animal stats. If you've got exhibits, you're constantly having to go in and clear out all the babies and all that stuff. And so I am excited to get back into this. So I think this will be enough to get us started. Oh, let's just make this even. Like we've already got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 spots for habitats. And I also think what I'm going to do is sporadically throughout the park, some of these... Why is this bigger? Oh, right, because there's one for the center walkway. Okay, that's fine. Sporadically throughout the park, some of these aren't going to end up like food plazas and gift shops and stuff like that. And I think that's, again, going to help make sure that we get them kind of all over the place. And also, I like the idea of doing this because I can kind of plan ahead. So I can, start looking through the animal list and, making a spot and putting signs down, let's say rhino or elephant or giraffe, what have you. And I'm also, all the other parks that I've been working on, I've been really focused at segregating either by continent or biome, like savanna animals together. And I don't want to do that in this one. I really want to have a mixture. I want them all mixed up so that you get, when you're looking from above, you can see all the different terrains. So like whether they have mainly grass or mainly snow. However, I do think that this is going to be a good start. So let's take a look at what we have in animal trading. Now, I did create a franchise zoo specifically for challenges because I was getting tired of wrecking basically the flow I had in my current franchise to add the breeding area for those. So what I'm going to be doing in the other franchise, I called it challenges so that it's very clear I don't ever mix it up. I can go in there, deal with the challenge animals. And so when I did that and I wanted to start the rhinoceros challenge, I didn't have room in the trade center to actually purchase any. And so the largest section of animals, and they're right at the top, were the African wild dogs. So I just took those and put them in that zoo as well. And they were the last challenge that I did before the tortoises that are stuck here. And so I felt that it was appropriate to have them in the challenge zoo, and then it got them out of the trade center and gave us enough room to purchase some animals. Now with franchise, the general rule of thumb that I've seen and that I've heard from most people is that you should start small. Now, why does it say, oh right, because it was stuck on, here we go. So here are the animals that we have. I mean, turtles, those are the tortoises, sorry, those are super simple to do. They're not very picky. That flamingos just can go. We don't really have any patience for him. Pandas, apes. I don't think I really have any small animals, so we might need to... Oh, that's it. Yeah, no, we don't have any small animals. So let's take a look in our Zoopedia, aardvarks. I kind of like the Baird's Tapir. I haven't done those before. They're pretty cute. So let's see. We're all about the cuteness in this one. Group size 1 to 2, up to 1 male, up to 1 female. Okay, so we just need a pair. This should be pretty simple. Let's see here if we can get a pair. That's another thing too with franchises, that getting animals is always, it's never guaranteed. So I like to make sure that I have them before I start a habitat specifically for a specific animal. I would also prefer to get gold ratings, but apparently that's not going to happen. Okay, so there's one male. Let's grab him. Hopefully he has a good fertility gene. Oh my goodness. This might have been a bad idea. However, I'm not really concerned. Again, the zoo is just starting, and it is a franchise. So at the beginning, I kind of just want to make sure that we're going to be making money. I know we do currently have some money locked away, but it would just be nice if I didn't have to worry about that. So I do want to get these connected just in the beginning. So path. Let's use a staff path. Align to grid. This one. Now the reason I'm doing this is I'm not 100% sure how we're going to have things set up as of yet. And so this will just make sure that we can get people over there. Okay, so let's just start right at the beginning. I think that'll be the easiest. Now, one thing that I have come accustomed to in this game is, creating areas without borders. So not using actual barriers, but using the terrain and rocks and stuff to make it so that they can't escape. And I would like to stick with that concept going into this as much as possible. Like, I know for lions, I want it to be kind of like a lion's den where it's sunken down. Maybe same thing for wolves because they're like a den animal. Things like that. So let's get a quarantine down because that's not something that I usually do, and I have learned that that is the best way to go. So let's go staff facilities and quarantine. Let's see. Might as well just put a large quarantine down. Get that connected. Now we can bring our animals in. Now, if you guys have any suggestions on what animals I should put next or any ideas for the zoo, please feel free to drop a comment down below and let me know. I'd love to have your help in this. This is the first time I'm putting any thought into a franchise, and so any help would be greatly appreciated. Oh, they're 9 and 10 years old. That's probably not the best either. Oh well, it is what it is. Hopefully we can get some better ones in the very near future. So to start off, what shape are we going to do? Barriers. So like I said, I don't want the barriers to actually show. So we're going to start with this concrete barrier. And then go from there, and then we'll cover it where we can, and if there's some areas that we can't cover, that's fine, because we will need viewing areas and stuff. So let's see here, curved sections. I've never actually used this curved option, so let's see if we can get this to work. Let's go for nice kidney shaped. I think we need to also make this. Maybe not that small, but escape maybe? I want it to curve the other way. Is that not a thing? Okay. We're gonna forget about the curves and we're just gonna use really small sections. Now if anybody would like to explain to me how to make curves, again, I would love to know. Oh, we need to angle stuff off. We will get through this eventually. I think this is going to make a nice kidney bean shape. Alright, so now that we're connected again, I think. Nope. Oh, and that's going to be too small. So let's delete a couple. There we go. You know what? It's not perfect, but I think it'll do. Especially to start off. I mean, we can always come back and fix these afterwards. So where are we gonna have the entrance? I think the entrance in the back would make the most sense. So let's get a gate in here with a path, staff path. Let's go with red. Let's shorten this up. Give us a little bit more control, and that's fine because there's nothing else going there. Let's get all of it red. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. So our next step, or I think we should press play. That would be a good idea. Now, where can we have the viewing areas? It's kind of a little... Can I move this? Probably not. Alright. So if we had a viewing area here, I think that would make the most sense. We should probably check what their needs are as well. Do they need water? They do require water. Okay, so that's one thing to think about. And they live to 24 and 24. So we do have some years left with them. Alright. Now, guests generally like to see them swim. So if we made this corner over here water, and then you'd be able to see on the water side, and all of this would be windows. So let's go ahead and fix our terrain. That's probably way more than necessary. That's a little much, and then we don't want the we don't want that one to be affected. All right, so let's add some water. Yeah, I think that'll do. Now what is this? Zoo has been closed for a long time. Yeah, we're gonna fix that in just a minute. As soon as we get these, move. Okay, so they're going to be heading here. So I feel like once we get the Baird's Tapir in the exhibit, then we can go ahead and open it. So let's select where we want those window panes. I think like that would be enough. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Let's just do pure one-way glass. And then we can go ahead and... I think that's backwards. We can go ahead and adjust that afterwards and add some more. Or it comes with these things. I don't know. We'll take a look at what it looks like. There's a couple of these that are bothering me. Okay, that one's good. This is pretty good. Now the path actually needs to get in there so that the guests can get to it. Tunneling passports curved. I think there's one that's snap alongside barriers. There we go. So that's not gonna work. I think we should go down to width 4 meters. Ah, angle snap is on. Is that close enough? No. I think this should be good. Yeah, that'll work. Should it be thicker? I don't want it to get congested, especially since it's going to be the only thing that we have in our zoo for the first little bit. So let's try this again. Let's bring this up to at least 8. Yeah, that'll be much better. Now I do think that these viewing area paths should be different. What if all the paths were done in this stuff, and then we had the viewing areas in this stuff? Yeah, I like that. Okay, they've been in here for a little bit. Let's make sure. So, zoo, staff, vet research. We're Baird's Tapir. Habitat. Baird. We definitely need a food trough. I also like to put that close to here so that the viewing area, you actually get like a decent view from it. You know, you can see them eating and drinking. Now, because that's there, we're most likely going to need a water treatment. So let's get water, which is under facilities. That'll do. So that's going to clean that. Now, what is the negative radius on that? That's the only thing with this grid. I think keeping facilities out of the way is going to be slightly more difficult. It's not what I wanted. Negativity. Yeah, see, that's pretty big. Oh, but it'll be fine. Okay. So let's see. Step 1 terrain. Plenty of way more water than they need, more space than they need. They need hard shelter, and they want less long grass, more soil. Soil. Okay, soil's good. They need more short grass. Okay, we're in the green. Now, hard shelter. Let's go back to habitat. Shelters. These are like really all pretty ugly. So, let's see. Oh, they're swimming. They're so cute. Actually, I think we might get away. I really like the look of this concrete barrier. I think we might get away with that, at least in the beginning. Until we can take the time and we have more animals to go around and, really decorate and remove those barriers. Yeah, these really are not nice. Okay, let's go to nature, rocks. Again, this is going to be just like quick and easy, nothing overly fancy. We just want to get them what they need. And then we'll come back through once we've got some more animals and we'll kind of pretty everything up. I mean, it'll work. It's not the prettiest thing or the most realistic, but it'll do for now. Hard shelter, 43%. Really? That's interesting. Let's see if we add this in here, if they will realize. Yeah, it's just not big enough. Okay. So let's try this again. Take this. Move this over here. And I think these might need to come up a bit. I think that might be part of our issue. Yeah, it's gonna look a little wonky, but that is okay. Oops, we want to move this back here. Let's move this one so there's no gap. Okay. Shelter's 100%. Let's get some more bedding in here. Now we can move on to plants. Oh, these guys actually like plants. That's exciting. So, nature. Oh, let's just go all. And we're going to filter by this is tropical, temperate, and grasslands. Temperate, tropical, continent, South and Central America. Now for these kinds of animals, I do like the very rooty stuff. I thought we had some bigger ones. Well, they really don't have much options here. That's quite large. Oh, this is much better. Let's get a tree in there. 1%. Okay. We're gonna be here a while. That's ginormous. So is that. And so is that. So that one was a decent size. That one's quite large, quite large. See, this one isn't bad either. Let's see. Those are fairly big as well. That one's not bad. See, I like these ones with all the roots and stuff coming out. We put that near the water. That's really blocking views. Let's see, is there a smaller one? Let's turn on the 45-degree angle off. Do something like that. They're about to mate already? That's exciting. Okay, so we're at 14%. Let's get some of these in here. Okay, so just a trick. You go somewhere where it's, you know, it's flat. Bring it in. And they're currently in the water. There we go. So we're at 92%. We're getting somewhere. Now again, this isn't perfect. It's not something I would say is overly nice, but for now we just kind of want to get them in. Kind of get things laid out, and then we'll be going around and really making the habitats much better. Okay, so that's at 100%. They like everything that's in here. Enrichment, we probably don't have anything. Oh, but research is complete. Okay, maybe we do. Oh yes, and we have to open the zoo up again. Now that we've got actual animals for viewing, zoo is now open. And if we're opening it, then we need to get some donation bins in there. So one here, maybe one there, and one here. Let's get all, we need this guy. Put one there. And then we'll put another one right here. Put a speaker here. Put a speaker here. Alright. So Baird's tapir. Baird's tapir. Speakers. And this can... Okay, that's a little bit too big. 7 should be good. And same with this one, Baird's tapir, set it to 7. See, there's no overlapping, perfect. Okay. So we have the first animal here. People are starting to roll in. It's going to take them a little bit to walk over to here. But overall, I think we're getting the idea. Yeah, I think this will work. I'm still not sure about paths. and which path is best. But we will figure that out after. Let's see if they did end up pregnant. This is a female. No, she's not pregnant. Alright, and we still need enrichment items. Enrichment items. Fur bared. So, enrichment. Food. Forge box. I'm gonna put that one right there because people, that looks really cool for people to see. And that only gets them 8. So maybe if we add one of those, perfect. And toys. Scratching posts, pretty good. And how about a box? That'll work. Okay. So I do just want to get this thing taken care of here. Nature. We want some rocks, and let's just get rid of all of these. We're gonna scroll down to the bottom. Now I like to make these things sort of blend in a little bit more than they do. So if we can just add some rocks to it, I think it'll just make it look that much better. It'll make it look like it's part of the like more natural, you know, part of the terrain and stuff like that, instead of just a random. Okay. So people are looking. We'll take a look to see what they think of it, and then I think that's going to be it for this episode. Until I can figure out which animal we're going to put in here next. Yeah, I don't think this looks too bad. I mean, it's not perfect. I'm just trying to get the general concept and layout down for the habitat until we have a chance to come back in and really make them that much better. Which I think is totally possible in franchise. I think the key is just having the patience to wait till you get to that point. Unlike Sandbox, where you can just, you know, make whatever you want right from the get-go and have these really elaborate habitats. Now, I have already mentioned that I don't want to go as elaborate as I would as if I was playing Sandbox, but I do definitely want it to be much better than where I was originally headed with Sandbox. Or with franchise, I should say. Because the first one just became a mess real quick. Oh, look at him jumping in there. I think that'll be pretty good. And then just to tie it in, we can... Oh, that's a little big. We can add a rock here or something. That's another big one. That's another issue I have is I find it difficult to tell like how big a rock is actually going to be when you are looking at them in the list here. I mean, that works for me. Oh wow. We've got like 1,000 people crowded in this one little area. And he's hungry. Unbox all animals. Hungry, that's not very good. Let's see if we can call a keeper over here. Oh, we should probably put a facility. Let's see, an animal. A keeper's hut, that's what I'm trying to say. So let's just get a small one in here. There we go. That'll do. Now, there's so many people. I think they're getting stuck. Trying to move in and out. Let's see. Are we making any money? Let's get out of here. 800. 1,000. 215. 800. Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So our first habitat is done, and that will do for now. These guys have 93% happiness. We have no ATMs. Can't find accessible staff room. Oh, that's another thing. I should probably change the price back down to a reasonable price for one animal. So 7, or let's make that 8. $8 and $5. That should help with happiness. Guest happiness. Okay. Can't find accessible staff room. I don't really care. We need a vet surgery. This person can't leave the zoo. Where are you? Well, that's not good. Oh, and I fired them. That's even worse. There you go. Oh, over here. Right at the exit. So if we click on this, the Baird's tapir looks like it could do with somewhere to swim. Are you kidding me? It's got plenty of room to swim. Okay, I suppose the view of the Baird's tapir from here is fine. You can get a good view. Well, that's pretty contradictory. And since we've seen them swim, we know that they can get in there. Look at these cute guys. They almost have like an anteater type nose. Somebody's here to visit. And then we have our challenges, right? Okay. So we're gonna end things here, looking at these very, very adorable creatures. And we can look forward to more animals in the next episode for sure. I really want to get back to making some habitats. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been able to focus on habitats with all the other projects I kind of have starting. And so I'm pretty excited to be back in franchise for one. Being excited about this zoo again since we removed everything and are starting over basically. Wow, that was a leap and a half. Some of the movements the animals do in this game are pretty interesting to say the least. And so yeah, so I'm pretty excited that we're back in here. We're going to be doing this amongst all of our other series and projects. And so this is just going to be somewhere where we can come, have some very simple... Oh, look, they're cuddling. I think they're going to be mating, I would assume. That is what that is. Which means hopefully offspring do. Perfect. We're going to have babies. There's going to be baby Baird's tapirs in the next episode for sure. And vet research is complete, so we're learning more about them, which is perfect. So yeah, so we're going to be doing all our series, but this is going to be one where I can come to and just, quickly put in a habitat, very simple, at least in the beginning. and kind of have a change of pace from all the elaborate builds we've been doing, and kind of custom stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. I think I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit. Like I said, it's going to be a nice change of pace from all the elaborate stuff that we're doing. And we're going to be focusing more on the animals in this one, really. Oh, frig, they're adorable. All right, so thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.